Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Pierre, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Marvel's The Defenders, Season 1, Episode 7, the penultimate episode. It is called Fish in the Jailhouse. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. This was a pretty good episode, and at the same time a little bit cruel, and I'll explain what I mean by that. It's a little bit cruel because it actually shows us what the show is without Danny, for the most part. Because he's separate, Elektra's got him, and it's the other three on their own, figuring things out, bonding as a team, because they basically, this is the episode where they kind of make the call, like, okay, we're going to be heroes, we're going to do this. Even though, we're at the point now, because we start the episode, there's a flashback, but we'll get to that in a minute. We start the episode with them all waking up in the police station, obviously Luke was knocked out with the weird, drug that Stick was...
stick gas.
The stick gas. That makes it sound like he had a...
Stick smoke.
The stick gas makes it sound like he... I don't know, like he farted on a stick and then went, here, smell my stick.
Well, maybe stick smoke's a bit better then. Doesn't quite have that connotation to it.
So Luke's waking up from that. Jessica wakes up all delirious, and Misty's like being... Misty really doesn't like Jessica. It's almost like she knows that her and Luke used to have a thing, and she's been a little bit jealous, because she's kind of... I mean, she likes Luke, obviously. She's professional to Matt.
Everyone likes Luke.
Yeah, she's professional to Matt, but with Jessica, she's like, cut this shit. Did you kill him? It was you, wasn't it? Speak up, woman.
I think she thinks that, on top of, maybe just, not liking it because of that, but she's the one most likely to kind of just say something out of anger.
Okay,
Luke's out of it still, so he's kind of not really.
And Matt's
available.
a lawyer, so he knows how to speak around her.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
Whereas her, she's very impulsive.
No, that's a fair argument. I can accept that. So she's questioning. Matt wakes up, and I like having Foggy have a couple of good moments in this episode where Foggy comes in here and he wakes up and he's all panicking at first. He's like, where am I? Because obviously he's blind. Which, I mean, as much as he can get a sense of the room, like if it's not a room that he's used to, he'll be like, what the hell am I? It's like, no, you're in the police station, and he sort of calms him down. And this is where
he checks his clothes.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you weren't wearing the suit. And Matt, this is where he sort of says, it's Elektra. She's back from the dead. I know that sounds weird, but she's back from the dead. And Foggy, of course, is like, what? No, this is crazy. This is insane. Matt's basically like he kind of does it twice here in this episode to different people. He does it to Foggy and he does it to Karen, where he basically, and to Karen more directly, where he says, "This is who I am," because she's like, "Oh, why are you throwing all this away? You were putting your life together. Your lawyer career was really starting to come together. After all the Daredevil stuff." And of course, Foggy has this really great moment where he actually brings him his suit. And it is kind of this, and it's funny because we don't really have a lot of time in these 8 episodes to solve all the relationship problems that all the separate characters have and all their own side characters.
We never really expected that in here.
Oh,
that was always going, okay, we'll get that in the next season of X show.
I will say, they kind of dampened it a little bit in the following scene where Foggy's with Karen and they're talking about it, and he makes it sound like he was giving him a chance to turn it away.
I don't know, because the way he says it is like, no, if he finishes this with the hand, he might feel like his crusade's over. And
yeah. He says that afterwards, but
right.
when she first says, "Oh, you brought him the suit," it's like, "No, I gave him a chance to back off." And I thought, you know what, Foggy, I actually really like the idea that you just kind of accepted that this is who he was and he had to do something, which I think is part of it. I still think him bringing the suit.
I still think he has, but he doesn't want to just outright say that to Karen in case she punches him.
I don't think Foggy can take Karen. I think that's a fair...
yeah, exactly. He knows that as well.
We have literally saw Karen whack a dude.
Yeah, and obviously Foggy doesn't quite know that, but I think he knows that, maybe don't get on the wrong side of it.
So that's okay. And obviously Luke's waking up and he's having his whole little... he wants to be a hero. Misty's telling him, what are you doing? You're just out of prison. This is risking going back. She says the same thing to Claire, and Claire... kind of for Luke actually says, no, he's being a hero. You asked him to help. This is him helping because he can't not help. And it's not convenient. It's not convenient for me because I want to be a happy relationship with him and do normal things like go and pick out furniture and whatever else. But he's going to go be a hero because that's who he is, which is partly why I like him in the first place. So
I do like that she kind of blames Misty in a way. It's like, no, you asked him to get involved in this. This is kind of on you.
Yeah, I think it's not like a full blame. It's kind of like, okay, you did get the ball rolling, but that she knows deep down that Luke would have ended up doing it anyway.
Right. If it had
Yeah,
come to Luke another way, he still would have got involved. But
yeah,
she's kind of like, yeah, you can't really say too. You know what Luke's like, and you pointed him in this direction. So you know.
yeah. And it's almost even for like Misty. She's trying to block everything now because she's like, okay, right, we have jurisdiction. You're not the police. You're vigilantes. Let me deal with this. Yada yada yada. And it's almost like being confronted. No, you know the truth. Like, they can help. And I kind of like the whole thing where the three of them are like when Misty's just flat out asking, okay, what's going on, right? What's happening? Like, okay, there's a secret organization. We've been tracking them. Who is this? And where are you going? What's the plan? And their response is basically, it's actually too dangerous for you to know that. If the police go to face the hand, you're going to die.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really interesting dynamic because I don't think you don't often see, even in superhero movies or shows. I can't recall many scenes where the hero just flat out tells the cops, "No, it's too dangerous for you. If you go in, you're dead. We're the only ones who can deal with this."
I feel like it's something I've seen in like comics themselves.
Oh,
fairly
sure,
often,
yeah.
But in the act, like on screen, not very much. Maybe in some of the CW shows, like Flash going, "Hey, no, leave this to the Flash," sort of, like Team Flash stuff, you know.
Yeah,
But it's never got quite like the impact of this.
It doesn't have the impact of this. And Joe, what it is though, it's because I think to the cops it still feels like something they can deal with. Whereas in the Flash, it's like, okay, there's a giant tornado coming to the city. Of course, the cops can't deal with it. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
it's always this really obvious like science fiction-y stuff. Whereas here, the cops have not actually seen the evidence that the Hand are this mystical, powerful
It's still
force.
people, as far as they're
Yeah,
concerned.
as far as I'm concerned, it's organized crime. Like it's their
Right.
backyard. Like, that's kind of
That's what they deal with. Yeah.
yeah. But you know, so Luke's saying no, I can't tell you because it's too dangerous. Like you will get yourself killed if you go. Is you know it sets up the stakes a little bit and it makes it feel a bit more real. So they all kind of work together. They get to this room on their own, and that's where Foggy comes in, gives them the suit, and they basically all agree that no matter what the consequences, they have to do the right thing. So they break out. You know, we actually see it from Misty and the captain's point of view, where he's grilling her like, look, if this can make or break your career, if you don't fix this, and we take down these.
You hear it, yeah.
Yeah, and then of
My
course,
one disappointment is I didn't get a scene of Luke and Jessica arguing who gets to punch the wall down.
hey, that's just assuming it's just one of them. Like, it could have been two of them.
They could have been the two of them, but you know who gets first punch?
To make sure
Who
it's
gets last punch?
same time. I think they both kicked it at the same time.
Okay.
I think they stood side by side and just kicked it, and that's what made the hole big enough
Okay. I'll
for them all
allow
to
it.
jump through. So they're on the run, and I like that when they're because you see the three of them walking down the street, and they all like, sort of there's a cop car, and they all need to dive in like to this little like, alleyway between a truck and something, and like Matt's using his hearing, and he's like, all right, there's an APB out on us. They think you've kidnapped me. It's just these fun little tidbits, and it's like, okay, we get no money for a cab, and like just because I've got a Metro card, and you know, cut to them on the.
I like how they've got one card between the three of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Cheating the system a little bit there.
Yeah, cheating the system.
They go through the gates and then just pass the card back.
They're going to save the city. You know what?
I mean, I'll let them off.
Yeah, I'm going to let them off. I mean, how do you feel about Jessica stealing the booze from the homeless guy?
Yeah, she needed a beer.
The look,
gotta do what you gotta do, innit?
The look on Luke, and that's a weird sentence, but the look on Luke's face as he stares at her as she's chugging that beer, and she does the whole thing in just about one gulp, right?
Standard.
Just chugging it down. It's been a long week. Can't deny it was chuckle worthy because it was. But no, it really. I mean, it is. I kind of appreciate how simple the plot actually is. This season.
Yeah, bad guy, stop bad guy.
Well, I mean that's really simplifying it. What I mean is that we've introduced this building, and we knew the holes underneath that the final showdown is going to take place at said building. Everything like the architect stuff feeds into it, where this was the building he was trying to take down, and that's why he had the explosives. Like
Pretty
everything.
sure there's not going to be a big beam of light into the sky in this show.
Probably not. I mean, it wouldn't shock me.
I really hope not. That would knock some points down automatically.
Well, it depends. Like, does it function the exact same as it would with just a beam of light, or does it become about doing something with the beam of light? I don't know.
Yeah.
I could, yeah. But no, it was just like, they're on this journey to get to the building, and like I like that this little comedy beat on them in the subway that I remembered from the trailers. Oh, this is actually them going to the final fight. This is
Yeah.
the
You
final
expected
show.
that to be early on when we saw it in the trailer, I think.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I absolutely did.
And I love that Danny's not with them, because if they did, he'd have given her a lecture on stealing that beer.
Oh, you wouldn't hear the end of it.
No.
You really wouldn't. So they get to the building, and Daredevil suits up, and like, obviously I think that I like that they keep making these little jokes about how he's the only one who has an outfit.
Yeah.
And he suits up, and Jessica's like, "Oh, here we go again." There's the outfit.
I like that he's clearly literally just off screen. Like, he's not really hiding, because he kind of comes out he walks into frame. He's still pulling on the gloves.
Yeah. He's been in the back alley just to put the main bit on so that he can come out. Yeah. And they get the hero shot, low angle as they're walking towards the building, as you do, make them feel big, imposing. But of course, one's in a suit, and the other two, like, Luke Cage just get his hoodie up, and Jessica's still wearing a scarf. Yeah. I mean, how many superheroes wear scarves when they go to fight the bad guy? Like,
It seems impractical, doesn't it?
not a lot of them. Maybe she'll start to, I don't know, do some fancy, like, almost whip-like things with a scarf, and probably not. It's not just
Seems
style.
unlikely. No, that's too much effort for her.
She's more throw a dumpster at a person than she is
Whip a scarf, yeah.
Yeah. Or, any type of karate or kung fu or anything like that.
Just give it a punch. That'll do the job.
Yeah, basic punches and kicks and lobbing heavy objects. That's Jessica's MO.
Pretty much.
So they get in, and of course, we'll jump back to the other side of the show then for the episode, which is the hand.
I suppose.
Which is obviously the weaker portion, and not just because Danny was there, although he wasn't helped. Because honestly, there's not a whole lot of Danny until this part of the episode where it starts intercutting between the two things.
It's actually like you don't see Danny till half, because I paused it halfway through to go and do something, and I said to you, "Oh, there's not a lot of Danny in this episode as of yet," because you'd seen it already, and literally I paused it on the moment where it goes to his first scene, but dead on halfway.
Yeah, so Elektra's like taking him down into the hole, and she's like, "I'm going to use you," but of course before that she's like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm in charge now, and I don't care what your rules are, hand people." And she's like, storming around the room, and she's, wiping her blade. It's all intimidating, and Alexandra's body's been like carried out, and I did like the minor touch that there's like blood dripping from it as it's.
I thought that was nice. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, it was honestly the sound more than anything else that I was like, and you could hear the dripping as it was trailing out.
Have you ever seen that in anything with the blood dripping through the body bag? I'm just not sure I have.
Nothing's springing to mind.
No, it was cool. A nice touch.
So, I do have to admit, like, here in this scene, it was kind of like going down the path that I was a little bit worried it was going down, where Elektra's just kind of evil. I mean, even if she doesn't really... I mean, I like that she doesn't care that she's the hand, or she doesn't want to control the hand necessarily. Because it becomes quite clear.
She's not concerned about world domination or any of that nonsense.
Because when she gets down the hole with Danny, and she's like, "I'm not the hand." Like, you keep talking about defeating the hand. Oh, I'm not the hand. I don't give a shit about them. She unhooks them. It's like, right, I just want to open this because the substance that is immortality, that's beyond this wall, and and it's funny that up until this point, like, he still doesn't know what his MacGuffin purpose is, and it's like, yeah, you just need to open this wall. The Iron Fist opens this, but she's storming around the room, like, telling the other hand leaders that she's in charge now, and blah blah blah. And obviously, as she's going down into the hole with Danny, we hear them watch it and go, "Well, she can still get us through the door. We can still get what we want. I mean, after that, we might dispose of her because we don't want to deal with her." But and it was kind of like, okay, we're at the point now where I officially don't care about the villains.
Yeah.
Because I think the first couple of episodes, we got kind of... Maybe excited's too strong a word, but we were like, oh no, Alexandra's kind of cool. She's got a bit of sympathy. She seems like she's got... Because a big thing we brought up is because she's dying, she has nothing to lose.
Right, it felt interesting because it was like, okay, this is a last push for her.
Yeah, but then it sort of dipped once we started having her in like the middle episodes when she was interacting with the other hand leaders, because that just kind of bogged it down.
Once they kind of came in and were saying, hey, be more careful.
Yeah, once it became this weird bureaucracy of like villains,
yeah,
it got less interesting.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
And then it got to this stuff, and Elektra's now the main baddie.
Yeah.
It feels a bit murky. It's a bit less defined. Now, luckily, all the actual stuff, I ended up really liking the Defenders kind of making their statement of like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to work as a team, and we're going to save the goddamn city, right? Them actually making the hero's choice. Luckily, is a plot element that I like a lot, and luckily, I like these three characters. So them doing all that in this episode,
And I also like we still haven't had Danny make that choice. Not really.
not really. It's just his destiny. He doesn't have to make his choice. It's just destiny. He's the immortal Iron Fist.
Good point.
Sworn to protect Kunlun.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Job, didn't he?
Did you not forget that from the last like 20 million times he said it? So
I tried.
But yeah, so the Hand and Elektra being the main villain is like, because it was when the Defenders then come into the building, and you know, Madame Gao, Murakami, and Bakuto are standing there, right? And it's like, you know, line up a three. I'm like, okay, I'm glad there's three kind of characters that I can name that the three Defenders can fight. Like,
yeah, I liked though, you know, like when they got there and Matt said, "Oh, there's three here. They're armed." And they're like, just three? And it's like, oh, okay, you know where this is going. You know, it's going to be the big three.
And that was cool. But honestly, like, everything else with them before now, like, yeah, established they're all around, but they didn't have to, all this stuff with her and, you know, with Alexandra and all the debates and, oh, should we do this, shouldn't we do that?
Considering we just killed Alexandra and she's irrelevant now, it kind of feels like a lot of wasted time.
It does. I mean, I'm not sure what you'd do with Alexandra now, but I think the big thing that interested us at the start was like, oh, she feels on edge because she could do anything, and it feels like nothing's really happened with her because...
Right. And it got most just before, you know, Elektra killed her. That was when she got interesting again, where she was, you know, putting the others in their place, and was like, no, she was showing that she has nothing to lose. She's just going for it, and I feel like if we'd continued down this, there was something interesting there, but we just never quite got to it.
But to the episode's credit, it kind of mitigates the damage because it stays so unfocused from it. It focuses purely on the heroes and what they're doing for the vast majority of the episode and their decisions to save the city. And maybe it kind of works in the weird way, because, you know, the Chitauri were never a great villain in the Avengers.
No,
it was just...
I think the problem is with them, you know, from the start of the movie, they're not built up to be anything. We're not expecting them from them. Whereas I think here, I was expecting a bit more from Alexandra.
Yeah, but I think here, at least for this final two episodes, right, this one and the next one, at least, okay, we've got a simple problem, the Defenders need to fix it, and I'm into them, their strive to fix it.
That side of it is the best that the show's been, really. When you've got them all together, even Danny to some extent, because at least then they just tell him to shut up.
Yes, that is entertaining. So as much as I'm being critical of what they've done with the villains here towards the end of the season, I do, and kind of like how bringing in the other heads of the Hand kind of bogged it down in this weird debate bollocks. At the very least, I actually do think this otherwise was probably the best episode.
Yeah, it might well be.
I certainly was really into the rest of the plot. So obviously we get to the fight itself. Danny starts fighting Elektra down in the hole, and it intercuts between that and then the sort of the main fight with the three. I thought it was interestingly balanced, the fight with the three, because at first Daredevil basically dives in and starts taking on all three by himself. And it was kind of like the other two with super strength were just sort of looking at each other going,
should we do something? Let's do something.
Yeah, then they kick the big tray's not the right word, pallet of cinder blocks. Yes. You know, they just kick that into them and it just like crumbles over. And then my favourite part of this fight actually is when Luke gets like backed into the wall. Like I think it's Gao who's like using her force or whatever to.
Yeah, I never really got that she did that before. Like she's always seemed to make contact before. Or at least it's been close enough that I don't think I'd realised there was that much range on it.
Yeah, earlier in the season though, see when she moved the dumpster, I don't think there was contact with that.
Maybe there wasn't. The way it cut didn't feel like it was. Like the way it was cut there, just felt like there could have been some follow through.
That's fair. I don't think that's a mistake necessarily. Though I think it may just be a case of they were withholding what her full potential was.
Right. I was surprised. Yeah. You know, when the cinder blocks go flying at her and she just kind of puts her hand out and they just stop, and like there's still like a good bit of distance.
Do you think that would have made it more interesting if you knew the full extent of her abilities?
I think it might have been, like, because, like, again, we've always got the, you know, she's strong, she's got the, you know, like, hard hitting with the chi, whatever, but I don't know, I feel like it immediately made it more interesting. It's like, okay, she's got something more going on.
But, no, she backs look up into the wall, and there's this giant pipe above him, and he just rips it out, and he throws it past her, and Jessica catches it, and then wallops her in the face with this giant pipe.
Pretty great. Yeah.
It was relatively entertaining. I do think it's a little bit of a cop-out that all three of the hand members Batman out of the scene at the end. They all just kind of disappear.
Yeah, I like that they don't just disappear. There's like a moment that causes it,
Oh,
which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice thing of them. It shows that these people have worked together for a long time, where they just say a couple of words and it's like, okay, I get what the plan is.
Yeah, they knew it was time to back out. They were losing. But yeah, so this gas pipe, one of them bursts a gas pipe and there's this flame, and Luke just walks through it and like bends the pipe so it's blocked again. So
it's pretty cool.
Good stuff. And obviously Colleen shows up mid-fight because she's got her katana and she's in for a fight. And
yeah, she's gotta go straight to Bakuto, hasn't she?
yeah, that part annoyed me, but I do actually like that she shows up to fight because she feels capable. She's like just as good as Danny and Daredevil to an extent.
Yeah,
maybe not. Daredevil has the weird advantage where he's got the super hearing, so he's like
he is better. He has an advantage. Yeah. They're pretty equally well trained.
Oh yeah, probably. But so Misty shows up with Claire. Misty's like, okay, I'll hold off the cops best I can, and they go deep into the building. Claire with them, and Luke rightfully points out, I'm not sure if I feel good about you being here. He's like, well, I'm here now, so let's get to it. They also kind of say something similar to Colleen. She's like, no, this is my fight. Back off.
Yeah.
But at least we do know she can take care of herself in a fighty way. So
yes, yeah.
So she reveals why she's there. She whips open this bag, and I kind of guessed what it was because she was eyeing up the evidence earlier on. I'm like, okay, it's all the C4. We're going to do what the guy had always intended, which is to bring this building down and seal up the hole. And Luke and Jessica are like, what, are you crazy? No, we can't do that. We can't add domestic terrorism to the list of charges against us. And Matt's like, you know what? No, this is a pretty good plan. This will take them out. This was always the idea. And then he's like, he uses his hearing. He's like, there's no one else in the building. Like, there's no one here. Like, no one is going to get hurt other than potentially us.
Yeah.
And it's
a decent plan.
Yeah, and it's basically that final moment before the last episode where they all say, kind of like how we had the choice earlier on, but this is even to a greater extent where, okay, this might be a suicide mission, but we're heroes, so we're going to all agree to do it. Yeah.
Right.
So it was the big calling card moment before the final episode.
Danny was just kidnapped, so he's there by force. They don't care if they crush him.
Yeah, they never made his choice.
He deserved it.
Yeah. So Danny's downstairs, he's fighting Elektra, and he eventually is getting his ass kicked, and much like, I mean, this is the thing, I was going to, it mitigated a little bit, of course, by intercutting with the other fights, right, so the other fights were much more interesting, but it was kind of the same thing, where it's martial arts, he starts to get beat, and then just as he's starting to get beat, time for the fist, and he whips out his fist, and I thought, Danny, this is a bad idea. This is the exact thing that she needs for you to open that door.
Like, you stupid shit. She's actually just told you that's what you need. That's what she needs. She's like, this needs an iron fist to open.
And sure enough, she whips out her sai, and she just kind of redirects his hand round.
I was convinced she was just going to step out of the way and let him fall into it, frankly. Because he's just that much of an idiot.
So, and she's got a hold of him though, and they both sort of go through the wall. It basically turns it into a portal, basically, but without. There's no visual effect. It's almost like they just go. It's like they can just. It's like they're suddenly just Kitty Pryde, and they can just go through a wall almost.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And they go through, and but that's actually a little bit earlier. But then after this scene with the others, we get the sort of the big cliffhanger scene at the end, which is Danny waking up, and what I was thinking at the time looked like something H.R. Giger had designed. It was like he woke up in something from Prometheus or something like that, where, not that Giger designed Prometheus, of course. I know that before anyone corrects me, he designed the original Alien, and the ships in the Alien film, but, it had that kind of look to it, kind of skeletal. And then the camera kind of pulls out, and it's like a stone eye, and then it keeps pulling, and I thought, wait, it's inside the head of a Celestial in space? And it never pulls out far enough to see any space, I don't think. It's just a lot more rock. It's like, it might be inside of a mountain.
It looked to me like the dragon, like the bones of the dragon.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of shape it looked like it was. So, like like his tattoo, like that sort of skeletal shape.
Yeah. There was like a sort of human face though, like on the rock.
Yeah.
Because that's the eye we come out of, is like this human old man face that's in the rock. Right. But that's it.
So I wonder if was it maybe just a portal to Kunlun?
Yeah, the real Kunlun that's like actually.
Right, but the dragon's dead anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll explore.
Which it isn't. Correct me if maybe I'm completely misremembering, but isn't the dragon called Shaolin the Undying or something like that? I'm sure it was the Undying.
Like I was going to remember that. I have no idea.
I don't know. I feel like it's the Undying, and I'm like, well, if this is a dead dragon, that's kind of not really how the naming works.
Well, no, you're being cynical there. That's kind of the point. If it's undying and now it's dead, that's showing that a big change has happened, that something's bad. That's them telling you something.
I mean, all right. I'm just being cynical because Danny's in the scene.
You're actively being cynical.
I am.
For no reason. So
I know.
I'm calling you out on it. But so that's a big ending, and it's interesting because I mean, I didn't hear anything specific, but I saw a bunch of articles over the weekend saying, "Oh, how the ending of the Defenders like sets up the next phase and all that." And I'm wondering if like they introduce like some sort of element that could be the seed for what will be like going through phase 2.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll see soon enough.
Yeah. So like is it in space? It'd be cool if it was in space.
Yeah.
Give me some cosmic threat for phase 2.
Bring in Shield, given where that ended.
Ah, yeah, I could see it. I don't think they will, but I could see how they do it.
Yeah. Joe, I had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Does Misty know Matt's Daredevil now? Because there was the 3 of them that got that left the police station, and they showed up, and it's 2 of them in Daredevil.
It wouldn't surprise me if after everything goes down in the next episode, if we get like some small like epilogue-esque moments where she kind of like just gives him a look to imply that she knows, like even if she's not going to say anything.
Like at least the rest of the police don't see Daredevil there.
Yeah,
but she does. She comes in. The 3 of them are there.
Yeah, well, they've set her up as an ally, so it's kind of okay.
Right. It's believable. Like, I'm not gonna be against it if that is true, but I hope it's addressed, because otherwise I'm gonna go, well, that was pretty stupid of her.
Well, no, wait a minute. Just because they don't address it doesn't mean she doesn't know.
No, but they got to address it at some point. I think you can't just ignore that.
I don't think they have to address it until she meets him again. Like, she doesn't potentially have to address that until the next season of Defenders.
Right. I'm not saying that it has to be done in the next episode. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if at some point it isn't addressed and it just continues as if it's still a secret identity for him and she doesn't know.
Yeah, but there's only a few specific circumstances where that might come up. Where, like, what if she dies in season 2 of Luke Cage before we get to the next Defenders and she never meets him again?
All right, fine. Then it's irrelevant. If that happens, it's completely irrelevant.
The only way it'll bother me is that if they actually have a scene where she then plays dumb and doesn't know that he's Daredevil. But that is the only instance which I will be annoyed.
All right, fine.
Right? And if she plays dumb, but then has a little look where she's like, mm-hmm, and then, like...
if it's a knowing look.
Yeah, if it's eye contact...
That's enough. That's acknowledgement.
Well, eye contact's maybe not the right word because it's Matt, but... maybe more of a noise, maybe more of a... Yeah, I don't know where you went, Matt, and Daredevil showed up. Mm-hmm. Like, just a little knowing noise for Matt. Oh dear. So that is the penultimate episode of Defenders.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, to be fair. It
was pretty good, but Danny's still a monumentally stupid shit.
He is. No, he single-handedly gives Elektra what he wants, but
single-handedly, very good.
Yeah, losing his temper. It's quite shocking.
This whole thing is like he's supposed to be center his chi, right? That's it. But it only ever seems to happen when he's angry. He's like, "Oh, I'm angry in this fight. I'm losing. Better pull it out."
Yeah.
I don't get it. It kind of seems to be made up as it goes along when he can use it and when he can't.
It kind of is.
Especially like, you know when he was tied up in the chair and he was doing his meditating, he was doing his breathing. It's like, surely the point of that is so that it's centered and then he can use it, but he couldn't. But here in mid-fight, and he's frustrated because he's losing. He's like, "Nah, come on, pull the hand out. No problem."
It's a criticism. This is a fair. I mean, we said this all through his own show. That it just seems to work when the writers want it to work, rather than when it makes sense. But like, I don't know if I can blame Defenders for that. Like, you know, is Iron Fist to blame for not really giving it a proper set of rules, or at least it's giving it rules, but it's not really following them at all. So then when they get to Defenders, it's like, well, when do we use it? When do we not use it?
Right. I think Iron Fist obviously caused the problem. It started it, but I don't think Defenders has necessarily helped either.
Here's the thing. I don't think there's a problem with this scene specifically. I think the problem's actually with the scene that he couldn't do it in the chair, because basically the only reason for that is because we need to have him tied up in a chair all episode. Oh, why can't he use his Iron Fist? His chi's not centered. That one feels more like an excuse than the fight did here. Like this one just feels like, okay, this is how he normally uses it. This is more par for the course with Danny.
Yeah, yeah.
But for some reason, and this includes his own show, that whenever they need him not to be able to use it because they have to have him trapped or they have to have him vulnerable in a way that he's not usually, oh no, suddenly his chi's not balanced and he can't use it.
Yeah.
It's just whenever they feel like it for plot reasons. So
like he was a proper plot device in this episode, even more so than normal. Like this episode, though.
Yeah, that's all it was. He's not. I mean, we talked about this last time. He's not really a character.
but it was even more notable this time when the three of them were actually like, well, I guess we should go rescue him.
So there you go. That's episode 7. Defenders. Let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. But otherwise, that is us. So we'll see you for the finale later this very night, in fact. It'll be late-ish, but it will be tonight. So if you don't stay up late, you'll get it tomorrow. But it's coming soon. So thank you very much for watching once again, guys. We'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?